Supreme Court rejects linguistic prejudice, Urdu and Hindi as pillars of India's cultural unity. In a landmark judgment, the Supreme Court of India has dismissed a plea challenging the use of Urdu on a municipal council signboard in Akola, Maharashtra, delivering a powerful message against linguistic prejudice. The court, presided over by Justices Sudhanshu Dhulia and K. Vinod Chandran, emphasized that Hindi and Urdu, often divided along religious lines, are integral to India's cultural fabric and linguistic diversity. The ruling debunked the notion that Hindi is the language of Hindus and Urdu of Muslims, calling it a pitiable digression from reality, from unity in diversity, and the concept of universal brotherhood. The case stemmed from a petition filed by Varshatai, a former member of the Akola Municipal Council, who argued that the use of Urdu on the council's signboard violated the Maharashtra Local Authorities, Official Languages, Act, 2022. The petitioner claimed that the act mandated Marathi as the sole official language for municipal functions, rendering Urdu's inclusion impermissible. The Bombay High Court had previously dismissed Varshatai's plea, prompting her to escalate the matter to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court upheld the High Court's ruling, clarifying that the 2022 Act does not prohibit the use of additional languages, particularly those listed in the 8th schedule of the Constitution, which includes both Marathi and Urdu. The High Court rightly concluded that the 2022 Act does not prohibit the use of an additional language, which is Urdu in the present case, on the signboard of the Municipal Council building, the bench stated. The court further noted that language is a tool for communication and should not be condemned when used by a community. To understand the significance of the ruling, it's essential to trace the historical trajectory of Hindi and Urdu, two languages that share a common origin but were divided by colonial and post-colonial politics. Both Hindi and Urdu are Indo-Aryan languages, rooted in the linguistic milieu of northern India. Their shared ancestor, often referred to as Hindustani, emerged as a lingua franca during the Delhi Sultanate, 1206 to 1526, and flourished under the Mughal Empire, 1526 to 1857. Hindustani, a blend of Persian, Arabic, Turkic, and local Prakrit dialects, was the language of the masses, spoken across diverse communities. During the Mughal era, Urdu, derived from the Turkic word ordu, meaning camp or army, developed as a literary language, written in the Persian Nastaliq script. It became the language of poetry, administration, and culture, patronized by emperors like Akbar and Shah Jahan. Meanwhile, Hindi, written in the Devanagari script, drew heavily from Sanskrit and was used in religious and literary contexts. Despite their distinct scripts, Hindi and Urdu were mutually intelligible, sharing grammar, syntax, and a vast vocabulary. The British colonial period, 1858 to 1947, marked a turning point in the divergence of Hindi and Urdu. The British exploited linguistic differences to deepen communal divides, promoting Hindi as the language of Hindus and Urdu as that of Muslims. This schism was formalized through educational policies and the introduction of separate Hindi and Urdu schools. By the late 19th century, puritanical movements further polarized the languages. Hindi became increasingly Sanskritized, while Urdu leaned toward Persian and Arabic influences. The partition of India in 1947 cemented this division. Pakistan adopted Urdu as its national language, while India designated Hindi as the official language of the Union under Article 343 of the Constitution. Hindustani, which could have bridged the two, was sidelined, becoming the ultimate victim of partition, as the Supreme Court noted. Despite this, Urdu retained a strong presence in India, recognized as a scheduled language under the 8th schedule and adopted as a second official language in states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Telangana, as well as union territories like Delhi and Jammu and Kashmir. The Supreme Court's judgment went beyond the legal merits of the case, offering a profound reflection on India's linguistic diversity and cultural heritage. The bench emphasized that language is not tied to religion but to communities, regions, and cultures. Language is not religion. Language does not even represent religion. Language belongs to a community, to a region, to people, and not to a religion, the court declared. The court highlighted Urdu's role as a finest specimen of Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, the syncretic cultural ethos of northern and central India. This composite culture, blending Hindu and Muslim traditions, is evident in Urdu's contributions to poetry, music, and literature. Poets like Mirza Ghalib, Allama Iqbal, and Faiz Ahmad Faiz elevated Urdu to a language of universal human expression, while its influence permeates Bollywood, Qawwali, and everyday speech. The bench also addressed the misconception that Urdu is alien to India. Urdu, like Marathi and Hindi, is an Indo-Aryan language. It is a language which was born in this land, the court stated. It pointed out that Urdu and Hindi are linguistically intertwined, sharing syntax, grammar, and phonology. Everyday Hindi is replete with Urdu words, terms like adalat, court, halafnama, affidavit, and wakalatnama, power of attorney, are staples in Indian legal parlance. Conversely, Urdu borrows extensively from Sanskrit and other Indian languages. The court noted that Urdu is India's sixth most spoken scheduled language, with millions of speakers across the country. According to the 2001 census, India has 122 major languages and 234 mother tongues, reflecting its unparalleled linguistic diversity. The 8th schedule lists 22 languages, including Urdu and Marathi, but excludes English, which is not considered an Indian language. The Supreme Court's ruling underscored the constitutional framework that celebrates linguistic diversity. Articles 345 to 347 allow states to adopt additional official languages, while Articles 120 and 210 permit parliamentarians and legislators to use their mother tongues. This flexibility reflects India's commitment to inclusivity, ensuring that no language is marginalized. The court also critiqued the puritanical tendencies that have driven a wedge between Hindi and Urdu. While Hindi has become more Sanskritized and Urdu more Persianized, their spoken forms remain remarkably similar. The bench cited linguistic scholarship asserting that Hindi and Urdu are not distinct languages but variations of a single linguistic system. When we criticize Urdu, we are in a way also criticizing Hindi, the court observed. The Supreme Court's dismissal of Varshitai's plea has far-reaching implications for linguistic policy and cultural harmony. By affirming the legitimacy of Urdu on public signboards, the court has reinforced the principle that no language listed in the 8th schedule can be excluded from public use. The ruling also challenges deep-seated prejudices that associate languages with religious identities, urging citizens to make friends with Urdu and every language. For the Akola Municipal Council, the decision ensures that Urdu can continue to serve as a medium of communication for the local community. The court emphasized that municipal bodies exist to meet the needs of residents, and if a significant portion of the population is familiar with Urdu, its use on signboards is both practical and inclusive. The Supreme Court's judgment is a clarion call to embrace India's linguistic diversity as a source of strength. By dismantling the colonial legacy of linguistic division, the court has reaffirmed the shared heritage of Hindi and Urdu as pillars of India's cultural identity. As the bench eloquently stated, we must respect and rejoice in our diversity, including our many languages. In a nation of over 100 major languages and countless dialects, this ruling serves as a reminder that unity in diversity is not just a slogan but a lived reality. Subscribe to AK Matrix today for in-depth analysis, powerful narratives, and the latest updates on issues that matter to you. Hit that subscribe button now and join the movement.